Hey, what's up? What's going on? It's your girl Mary Jane. Please like, comment, subscribe to my YouTube channel. It would be greatly appreciated from the bottom of my heart, my peace, my peoples. So let's talk about Baller Season 3, Episode 10. Yay area. This is the season finale. I want to say thank you guys for watching the videos. I really do appreciate it from the bottom of my heart, my peace, my peoples. So, this is it. Until next season. I don't know if this episode really gave a lot, but it was quite interesting, but it just seems like a lot was not said, or maybe there wasn't a lot going on the whole season. What happened? So, anyways, we start off with Spencer and Joe walking up the street or whatever, and then there's a guy that is walking up this hill past him. He's running, and Joe was like, "F you, we know you're in shape, buddy." I thought that was hilarious, and so Joe says to Spence, San Francisco has been voted one of the most happiest place on earth. And Spence goes, "Well, I don't really feel so happy right now. Why do I feel really mediocre? I don't feel good at all." And then they talk about how Candace, the lady in the league, how she's supporting their competition. And, they're not feeling it. But basically, Joe is trying to tell Spencer that he needs to merge with the other group. Sometimes you got to eat your own, eat your own hat, sometimes you just have to let go and let be. And Spencer is not trying to hear it because, Spencer's, he's hard-headed. Once he gets his mind made up, his mind is made up. And it seems like he hasn't even, dealt with the decision about his sperm. He has let Chloe kind of like go or whatever. And so is Spencer going to be working on a kid next season, or what? Are we gonna find out Spencer is he's not able to have kids? So we'll see what happens with that situation. And so one of the most funniest parts too as well tonight was when we get T, we get Dennis, and we get Ricky. They all talk. They're in the kitchen or whatever, and Ricky's packing up his bags. He's getting ready to leave or whatever, because he wants to go see Amber and all that other stuff. And so so T says, T saying to, Ricky, "Where you going? What's going on? Like, what's happening?" And then, T's like, "Yo, I didn't expect it to be this way. I didn't expect my retirement." He goes, "Oh no, I didn't expect our retirement to be this way. Ending up with a kid with Amber in California. That's just not what I want to do or whatever. That's not how I saw us. That's not how I saw our retirement." So, T, switches it up because, T is like Ricky's right hand man, and T's not happy about the situation. But not Dennis is not even jumping in the situation. He's just letting his son be. He's let Ricky be his own man because, I think Dennis doesn't want to stop Ricky from chasing his family, or having a family, because Dennis didn't chase his family, or stuck around and Ricky's life. So he's not really saying anything. He's letting his son be his son, and he already knows his son has problems because Dennis takes medication as well. So now Ricky's on medication. So I don't know if the medication really got Ricky feeling like this, or was this already inside. But once Ricky get an idea, he sticks to it. Him and Spence are like the same in so many different ways. But it seems like he's putting sports on a back burner. And so T was like, "Yo, I didn't picture our retirements like this. Amber trapped you, like Kanye West said, like how Amber Rose trapped Wiz Khalifa, and even both of them B words got the same name." Ricky was like, "Don't call her no B word." He goes, "I'm not calling her. I'm just saying both of them B words got the same name. That's somehow coincidence, that's interesting." And so Ricky dad was like, Dennis was like, he gotta be a man, he gotta take care of his family. And T's like trying to get Dennis to help defend him, to tell Ricky it's a bad mistake leaving and going to see Amber. And this is the new Ricky, because the old Ricky would have just been like whatever and moved on and went and focus on trying to get signed to a new team, or trying to put his ticket in for a team. But he's really focusing on his family now, having a family and being with Amber. So is that the medication, or is that always something, or is it really that important to Ricky? So we'll see next season if he switches up once he stopped the medication, or does he stay the same when he continues the medication, because he does like Amber. Or does he? Does he really love her or does he not? Because he's under influence of, metaphoric euphoric type of medication that changes the chemicals in his brain. So we don't know. So, well, I don't know. Maybe you guys know, and you can tell me and hit me up in the comments and let me know what you think about the season finale. It'll be greatly appreciated. And so, T is like, yo, I'm not feeling this. I'm not feeling this. This is not how it's supposed to be. He's like, yo, you're gonna end up. T was like, we his family. T was like, yo, we his family. He don't need to go over there and find out what Amber's doing. We his family. We've been here for him. He can't leave us. And it's like, T is really taking this personal. And he was like, he was telling Dennis that we his family. And so then Ricky says, New England ain't effing with me. And you know what? I'm not trying to chase another contract because I need to get my head on track. I need to get my head together. Until I get my head straight. And T goes, news flash, mother sucker. Yo, your head ain't never been together. You ain't never been straight. And Dennis didn't say anything. Dennis is just sitting there. And then, Ricky says, maybe Amber can change that. So it makes you think like, okay, maybe it is the medication, or maybe he's not fully knowing what he's doing because he thinks Amber can make him a better man, but he has to make his own self a better man. He has to make himself better, not depend on the person to make him better, because once she goes wrong or once she does some foul stuff, or maybe she just disappoints him, is that going to put him back on a torpedo downhill because he's dependent on this woman to make him better and not making himself better at first? So anyways, we'll see what happens. And so, T was like, newsflash, your head ain't never been straight. And he was like, you know what? T says to Rick, you know what? You're going to end up neck deep in some deep, sour, titty milk, shitty Pampers, and all that other good stuff. And so, but Ricky's on his way. He's gone. He's out. And Ricky's always Ricky. When he don't care, when he's determined to do something, he's gonna do it. But we've seen in the last couple of episodes, Ricky has changed. It's like, I don't know if he's balanced or not balanced. End up telling the Patriots everything that's wrong with him, or is Ricky just wants to live his truth now? He wants to live an honest life. He wants things to be right in his life. That he doesn't want to play these shenanigans anymore. So maybe that could be it. But we'll see next season. And so we end up with Charles. Charles is sitting there with Jason and his wife and his daughter. And, Jason was like, hey, listen, I got a new deal for you, to be the head coach, in LA, to be their new their new, GM or whatever. And Charles was like, oh, they're not going to want me. They already got this person. They're going to want somebody more experienced and this and that. And Jason is giving him a pep talk. It was like, hey, you can do it. The meeting's today. And hey, listen, this is the portfolio of the person that was going to go for the interview, but you just take it. And so Charles was like, okay. And so then Jason goes, you're going to have a babysitter with you that's going to help you. And, Charles was like, how am I going to be able to study all this in 5 hours? He was like, you don't need it. It's already in your head. Jason is giving, Charles a pep talk, because sometimes it seems like Charles needs a boost of confidence because he lacks in the confidence department, and all types of different situations where he depends on his wife for help. He depends on people to reassure him who he is, where he has a lack of confidence sometimes when he can really actually do the job, but he just needs somebody to give him confidence or reassure him that he's able to do it. And plus, he's probably just nervous. And so we get Joe and Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson is leaving the hotel. Joe stops and takes his suitcase and is like, where the hell you going? Stop. And they're arguing. He was like, no, you're going to stay here. We're going to do this deal. I don't know where you're going. And they're arguing. And their antics together in the hotel was so funny. And he was like, you're gonna stay here, Julian is coming, we got the money. He was like, what you mean, my brother? And Mr. Anderson hates his brother. He can't stand his brother at all. He doesn't like him, but his brother Julian is gonna come and save the day. So Julian is on his way. Spencer is talking to Julian and telling Julian, hey, listen, we need this, blah blah blah. Julian's still on board. He's parking his jet. He's about to get off. He's like, like, yo, Julian is the real deal, son. He was there for his brother and his brother's friends, but also he knows he's going to make some billions, some millions, but he had their back, regardless. And so, and so, Julian and Mr. Anderson, they have to sit down and eat together and try to get along, and they're just going back at it, calling each other's name, F this, moron, stupid, dumb, all types of stuff. They just going back at it. And then we get to Reggie is on the field. He's acting like a new fixer, so it seems like next season Reggie's gonna be a fixer, because Reggie handled that deal from Vern with the suspension, getting him less suspension. So he's talking to Dex about this. I think his name is Dex or something like that, telling him, hey, I did this, I did that, I did the wiggy deal, I did the 3D vision and all this other stuff. It's good, sex with the vision and 3D. And the kid was like, whatever. But you can see that Reggie is stepping up his game, not to just be Reggie's best friend and Reggie's, partner in business, but he's trying to make some money on the side. But Reggie's always been trying to make money on the side, and Vernon always support him. They always support each other. They're childhood friends. And so he's talking, so he's talking to him, trying to get him to head, because he has some information on him. Reggie is so slick and so smooth and so cool. And so then we get to Wayne. Wayne is like, he was telling Spencer that he's gonna lose, the deal is dead. It was telling him that Candace is on his side, and you're not gonna be approved and all this other stuff. And so that's when The Rock gives him the middle finger, like, sucker. Oh, but it's so terrible how Wayne just turned his back on The Rock, to steal the deal right under him, and just be like, he's a terrible person. But I know he's going to come back next season with some power to try to do something wrong towards Spencer and his management company or whatever, finance company. And so we get back to, guess who's Charles' babysitter on the plane? It's none other than Ricky. Ricky singing his butt off. So it seems like Ricky is really mellow and relaxed, and it kind of brings me back to, like, maybe it's the medication that got him mellow, so relaxed or whatever, where he's singing out loud. And Charles was like, yo, stop it, man. Like, yo, everybody's looking at Ricky. Ricky doesn't care when people think, what people saying, but is this the new Ricky, or is this the medication Ricky? And so Charles was like, yo, could you stop? Could you stop it? Could you stop it? Could you shut off this Jackson 5 concert? It's a little too much. And so also, him and Ricky and Charles, they talk, and Ricky also gives Charles confidence to believe in himself. He was like, Charles, you got it in your head. It ain't nothing but like a sports game. You always had it in your head. Don't worry about it. You got it. And then Charles was like, yeah. And I think Charles remembered that in his head. And he was like, ain't you a good dad? He was like, yeah. Did anybody teach you how to be a dad? He was like, no, I had some books my wife gave me, but I didn't read them. But you're a great dad. And Ricky's telling him, you're a wonderful father. You're a great father. You're everything. And so to me, you are. And so then Charles take that insight, which Charles now is getting more reassurance that he can do this, that giving him courage to do this, because that is a big job, going to be GM and flying to LA and just knowing about it a couple of hours ago. That's a big deal. So they're on the plane or whatever, and so that ends. And so Spencer, Mr. Anderson, Joe, and Spencer, they all meet up at the restaurant. They call each other F this, F that. And it was like, yo, we have this deal. We have to share. We have to get this. It was like, oh, we don't have no land in Vegas. So they don't need to land in Vegas. So they're working out what they're going to bring to the board when they have that big meeting, because their competitors is going to be there as well. So we see Reggie. Reggie talks to Dex. He was like, yo, Dex, Vern told me your problem. Then Dex shows, Vern and Reggie his video, and it's like a little sex tape video. Is a girl, she's all in red, like she's talking all like funny and skittish to Dex, and he has his t-shirt on, his football jersey on, so he's identifiable. Everybody knows who he is, has on his boxers, and he's playing like a sex game. And it was like, yo, this is not nasty. This is more funny than ever. And then Reggie and Vern, they sitting there laughing at him. He was like, yo, I can take care of the problem. It ain't nothing. You see what happened to Reggie. you see what happened to Kimberly Kardashian. See what she did. Nobody ever knew of her until she smashed Ray J. Now she's a multi-billionaire. She got her own jet, her own plane, and so everybody is talking about the situation where the Kardashians and Ray J, how they made money off of Ray J. They just used that man. And I guess Travis Scott is next. And plus, Travis Scott music was on not this episode, the episode before last, and he's with Kylie or whatever. And so he was like, so, and now she's married to Kanye West, and Vern says, who a dude that thinks he is God. And so Reggie was like, I can fix this. So we see Reggie's going to be around fixing problems. He's going to be a fixer. That's where his new lane is gonna be at. So he was like, yo, we made mad money off the marijuana game, but the league got upset at us. Reggie and Vern are so cool. And then Ricky, he shows up to Amber's house with roses and everything. And so they end up making up, they end up kissing, and they're together. And then Ricky he does a live, has his mother record it, and he says he's retiring from football. His new life, his new dreams, his new goals is to be a husband, a father, take care of his child. So that's his change of career. So, and he let all his teammates know. So it seems like it's extreme for him to be doing this. Like it was extreme for him to tell the pages about his illness. So it seems like it might be the medication. He might be on a spiral that's gonna, crash and burn. And T is just looking at this text like, yo, I knew it. Because T said, last episode, you can kick Ricky in his balls and he'll apologize to you. So Ricky's really different. And so Ricky also says to Amber, you're going to date a brother that got no job. And Amber says, we can build together. We can work together, honey. So they are together. And it seems it is what it is. And so Charles, he meets up with, the owners to have this meeting, and it's not going like he's supposed to. He's reading off this person's book that, Jason gave him to take. And so the owner was like, hey, listen, I just think we're going to go in a different direction. So Charles is mumbling, he's stuffing, he's puffing, and he turns around and he says some immaculate stuff like, this is what I would do. This is how we do this. We don't need the riches, this. We don't need that. We don't need this. We can do this. And then the interview guy said, that's what I was looking for. That's the guy I want to interview. So sit back down, Charles. So Charles' confidence finally comes out, and it did show a couple of times in the season where he's just real comfortable. That's how he went against Seaford, which kind of backfired on him, but maybe it didn't backfire if he actually get this GM job, with this new team in LA. So Charles sits back down, and so hopefully he'll be a GM next, season. And so then we get to Joe and Spencer. They're getting ready to meet up with, the people that's going to actually, the league and all the owners actually to talk about building this, new stadium, this Vegas deal and everything. And Wayne is walking out of the office, and he talks to Spencer. Was like, yo, Spencer, you should have went with me. You should have came with me. I don't know why you didn't want to share. Blase in the third. And so Spencer looks at Wayne and says, F you, Wayne. And that's, that was like the first time Spencer, got a chance to say F you to Wayne, because Wayne's dirty. Then also Wayne uses Chloe to get at Spencer. He also tells Chloe that he thinks that their relationship is a conflict of interest. And so Spencer says to her, won't you come work for me? And she was like, really? Because Spencer, 1 minute he loves you, next minute he doesn't. 1 minute he want to be in a relationship, next minute he doesn't. So what is Spencer going to do about this? Is he just going to let Chloe go once again, and his sperm is decreasing as we speak? So we'll see what happens. And so Spencer goes into the meeting. His team, his people win the board over. Like, they had all the Oakland fans out there, because Spencer came up with the idea when he was driven around by the limo driver last episode, that how much the Raiders do for this community, how much the Raiders help with this community, how much the people love them, so don't take them away. So he has so many people out there with Raiders stuff on, and he was telling the league, the boys, the owners, hey, listen, you don't have to spend any of your money, because you know what, guess what, Julian is a billionaire. Julian has money to spend, and he's going to spend it, and that way the taxpayers won't be on the hook. That way nobody will be on the hook, and people will love the league and love the teams again, because you guys will move a third team with less than 2 years. People are going to be upset with you guys, and then increasing taxes and all this other stuff. And so they're like, okay. And so everybody's like, oh, this sounds good. We don't have to spend no money, and it's not going to be on the taxpayer. So they're feeling the deal. They like it. They like that, because they're actually going to come out as the good guy, and they don't have to spend any of their money. And plus, they won't have to move a third team in 2 years. And basically, Spencer's like, we can build a stadium here in Oakland. It'll be privately funded. There'll be no taxes coming out of anybody's pockets and all this other stuff. And it was like, well, you're totally torpedoing the deal, because it's supposed to be in Vegas, and we already got land in Vegas. He goes, who cares about that? Look at all the people outside that want the Raiders to stay here. You guys actually be heroes. And so Candace, she's not upset. She's upset. She's not feeling it, because her and Spencer go way back, I guess, to that interview that they had a long time ago, a couple of years ago. I guess she haven't forgave him, I guess, and he haven't cared about her since. And so the board thinks it's a great idea, especially the Cowboys owner. He's like, hey, no, we don't got to spend none of our money. Word? That sounds good. And so as they're leaving, Candace, she comes out the office and she tells Spence, you're never going to get this deal. You're never going to get the votes. And you're going to be this, you're going to be that, because they're not going to vote for you because they don't want you in. So don't worry about it. And Spence says, you know what? You're going to be out of a job, because Spence heard through the grapevine that Candace was supposed to go with Wayne, get it approved, and then quit her job. But if Wayne doesn't win the deal, and Spence and Julian and Mr. Anderson and Joe wins, that means that she's probably gonna get fired anyway once they found out what happened, because Joe, Spence, Julian are going to tell them. And so she threatens him, and he was like, don't worry about it, you're gonna be out of a job at the end. She was like, yeah, whatever. And so then, Spence, Julian, and Mr. Anderson and Joe, they're out at the bar, whatever, waiting for the info. Mr. Anderson gets a phone call. The league says, hey, they're with it. They want to play ball with them, but there's one hitch. They want the stadium to be in Vegas, and they can use taxpayer money. They don't care, but they want it to be in Vegas. The stadium. And so Spence and Joe are not feeling it. They're upset, because it was like, yo, if they're not gonna go halfway, because Spence, he can't have anything halfway. That's probably why he doesn't have a kid. That's probably why he has not chased after Chloe, because everything got to be his, all or nothing. He doesn't like anything half this, half that. No, since they're not gonna go with my way, then we're gonna do something about it or whatever. So Spence walks off. He leaves with Joe, and Julian and Mr. Anderson is like, come on. Like they're going with us, and so then Julian's like, you're gonna let this stop torpedo the deal, or what you put in, what you work for. It's just gonna be in Vegas. I guess he doesn't want it. Spence doesn't really want it in Vegas, because he don't want nothing. He don't want Wayne's name attached to it or anything with it, because Wayne really did him dirty. Wayne's gonna get his. So we'll see if he's going to get his, or they're going to go back to Wayne's deal. So Spence and Joe goes back to their office. They tell everybody at the company, ASM, that we're not selling as players. We're going to go bigger. We're going to go global. We're going to tackle all sports and everything. And Spence looks on his door, and it says, dirt bag. And so he asks Joe, who wrote that on my door? He was like, no, just throw a ball out there and hit anybody. Everybody probably did it. And then, because Spencer's like, why do you have your door locked, Joe? He was like, come on, it's a madhouse out there. So then Spence and Joe get together and tell the team that we're gonna stay here, and they all get to keep their jobs. So we'll see how many more players they're gonna get, how it's going to elevate ASM, and let's see if this deal is just going to be dead in the water for next season, and they're going to develop more players, and what's going to happen with them paying back all the players, and is the league going to to Joe and Spencer's players? Is Mr. Anderson gonna go with the other team and do the deal with them in Vegas, since Spencer and you know Joe don't want to be a part of it. So anyways, peace. I'm out. Tell me what you guys think. Please leave your comments below. Please like, comment, subscribe, and watch my other videos. I got plenty of videos and plenty of playlists for you guys to watch. Thanks.